From magazine editors to top TV producers to professional dancers and actors and even diplomats, the reviews of Shen Yun are in, and it has been summed up as one of the most breathtaking and exhilarating productions around. Yes, the beauty of classical Chinese dance and music is coming right here to St. Louis at the Peabody Opera House, and we're going to learn more about that production coming up next on City Corner. Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson and welcome to City Corner. Today we're going to have a really exciting show because we're going to be talking about Shen Yun. It's a touring production that focuses on classical Chinese dance and music. It's gotten tons and tons of amazing reviews, and it's coming right here to St. Louis to the Peabody Opera House in February for 3 shows. Today I'm joined by the representatives from the Zuri Falun Dafu Association, Peng Su, who's the president, and Bill Kaczynski, who's the director of PR. Thank you for being with us.
Okay, thank you for having us here.
So you are presenting Shen Yun Performing Arts. What is, if people haven't already seen the commercials, what is Shen Yun?
Shen Yun Performing Arts, they are a New York-based world touring performing arts company. Their mission is to revive the 5,000 years Chinese civilization. Their performance has a lot of legend story-based dances that will bring you back to different dynasties in the Chinese history, and also it covers different ethnic and folk dances, because in China, the 56 ethnic groups each has their own tradition, music, dance, and costumes. And in recent years, each year, Shen Yun performs about 300 to 400 shows, and it covers about 20 countries and 100 major cities worldwide.
Oh, wow, 20 countries. And so it's been to St. Louis before, is that correct?
Okay. Several times already. People love it. Yeah.
So, well, let's get into sort of what can people sort of expect. Tell me a bit about the dance. Bill, if you want to talk about the dance.
When the curtain goes up, the audience goes, wow. It's just so incredible. Visually, there's so many different colors. The artists are on the screen. There's a live orchestra. When the curtain goes down at the end of the show, people go, wow. They leave with tears in their eyes, smiles on their faces. It's such a beautiful show. Now, the dance itself, it's classical, what we call classical Chinese dance, and there's a long history. And there's 3 components of classical Chinese dance. Peng, would you like to talk about
that?
Sure, go, yeah.
You know, classical Chinese dance, is alongside with ballet, it's one of the most comprehensive dance system in the world. It has 3 components, like what Bill said. The first component is form. That's the physical structure of the dance. These are like the movements and poses that make up the dance itself. And the second component is technique, like a flip and other challenging tumbling techniques. The third part, the component which I consider as the essence and the soul of the dance, is called Yun. It's a Chinese term which is pretty difficult to translate to the accurate word of English. It's like the bearing of the dancers, such as his or her personal aura, intent, breathing, and emotional expression. Those are the inner meaning the dancers try to display through their movements and to bring a message to the audience. Like in ancient China, artists would search their inner beauty and purity so they can have something beautiful in turn to give to their audience. So we all know that the spirit leads movement. That's why Yun is so important in the dance. That's what makes the dance so beautiful and expressive.
That's really interesting. So it's really about the person's sort of inside energy being sort of reflected in their dance, not just their performing choreography
That's correct.
That they've been. When we talk about the company that's actually going to be touring to St. Louis, how many members are in that company? Because we're looking at an orchestra, if I'm not correct, plus musicians and dancers. So how many total is that?
There are about 90 to 100 artists in this company. Actually, Shen Shen Yun was founded in 2006. At the beginning, it only has one company. Now it expands to 3 equally sized companies.
Okay.
Each of that has about 90 to 100 artists.
Okay.
And those are exceptional artists, including winners of top international competition in dance and music. And then those 90 to 100 artists, half are dancer, half are musician.
Okay. And speaking of the music, tell me a bit more about the music that's going to be in the production.
Okay. Bill, you want?
The music itself, there's 2 other components we need to speak about. One is the orchestra itself. And the orchestra is something very unique in that it's based in a Western style orchestra, but is also within that Western style orchestra are classical Chinese instruments such as the pipa and the erhu. And the erhu is what's called, it's like they call it a 2-string Chinese violin. And there's an erhu soloist. When she plays, I've seen the performance several times, and tears come down people's faces. It is so beautiful. It's so heart-wrenching. Now, within the orchestra itself, there's there are unique styles. There's unique tones to the Chinese instruments and also to the Western instruments, but there's a harmony. All the music is composed specifically for the performance. It's just absolutely incredible. It's so beautiful. Now, there's another component we haven't talked about, is that there are a vocal soloist, and they use what's called the bel canto style. And bel canto, it comes from the 17th century Italian opera. It means beautiful singing. And essentially what it means is that they use the full range of their voice. And we're going to be in the Peabody Opera House, which we're very glad to be here. It's a beautiful venue. And they don't use microphones. And their voices project from the very first row to the very last row on the balcony. They're absolutely gorgeous. And the one thing that struck me the first time I saw these singers, they come out onto the stage, and there's the grand piano and there's a pianist. And it's just the vocalist and the audience. And I thought, it must take such courage to come out, and they perform, and the audience just loves these vocalists. They're absolutely incredible. They're so powerful. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, no, you both do an amazing job describing it. I'm getting ready to set up. We have a 4-minute video that we'd like our audience members at home to watch, because it really shows you, it gives you a nice sneak peek at the production, and you've done an excellent job setting it up. So without further ado, that was beautiful, talking about the dance and the music. We're going to take a look at this 4-minute video. Here we go.
Soul was very well fed tonight with the beauty of this performance. It just was breathtaking.
I was overwhelmed. It was beautiful, beautiful production. It was magnificent.
A dream world of perfection.
The male dancer, the male lead, whose name I do not know, is one of the most incredible dancers I have ever seen.
So inspiring. I think I may have found some new ideas for the next Avatar movie.
The double-string violin was played. I had tears in my eyes. It was so exquisitely beautiful.
This is something not to be missed.
Shen Yun Performing Arts is one of the most renowned Chinese performing arts companies in the world. Based in New York, its mission is to revive 5,000 years of divinely inspired culture. In ancient China, poets and artists emphasized virtue, study, and meditation because they took to heart an ancient Chinese belief that to create true art, there must first be inner beauty and purity. Today, the artists of Shen Yun follow in this noble tradition of inner cultivation, which helps to bring an extraordinary depth to their work. Classical Chinese dance, which is Shen Yun's hallmark, is one of the most expressive and most demanding art forms in the world. Every year, Shen Yun creates a whole new production with original dances, costumes, and music. Adding the distinctive melodies of ancient Chinese instruments over Western orchestration, Shen Yun brings together two of the greatest musical traditions the world has ever known. The intricate costumes and headpieces offer a glimpse into the richness and diversity of China's past. Skilled designers create large-scale digital backdrops that whisk the audience off to faraway lands. After countless hours of training and rehearsal, and after each piece has been crafted down to the minutest detail, Shen Yun is ready to embark on a world tour. Everything comes together when the curtain rises. Everything comes together when Shen Yun takes the stage.
Great, that was pretty spectacular. Do you think that does a good job summing up what the production is and what people can expect?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What I noticed is the costumes. I mean, it is sort of a couture almost, if you will. There's sort of couture as well as some traditional, costuming going on. I mean, can you tell us a bit more about how they put together such a vast array of the costumes?
I really love their costume, and we are not a part of their production, but from my observing, I saw that, from the wide Confucian sleeves to the, intricate embroidery of the Manchurian shoe, there were a range of fashions in Chinese clothing. Every dynasty, there are so many dynasties in the Chinese history, every dynasty, each region has their own style. And Shen Yun's costume basically pick the essence of the historical Chinese clothing, and they bring back all the different styles. And plus, they have paid great attention, incredible attention to the details. And each of those costumes, those are handmade and made specific for each individual dancer. Wow. And every year, Shen Yun produce a brand new production. So hundreds or even thousands of costumes have to be made.
So they remake the costumes?
Yeah, new one, new design, new costume, because they represent different culture for different dynasties. So they are gonna design the new costumes, and those are just gorgeous. And just the costume itself is $1 million production.
Oh, I mean, it looks stunning. It looks fabulous. I mean, I've noticed too with the backdrops that they have separate designers who then design the backdrops ahead of time, and some of the digital projection. Bill, were you going to mention something about that?
The backdrops, it's like bringing modern technology, and it's blended with the ancient Chinese customs and the legends. And one of the things audience members do tell us that they really like is the backdrop, and we describe it's a three-dimensional backdrop. And I don't want to give out too much information because I want everyone to come and see the show and see what it's about. But one of the things that occurs is that things actually come out of the backdrop. It's like from another dimension onto the stage and come to life.
Really?
It is incredible. And it's one of the things audience members tell us that is very unique about this show. And it adds to the show itself, because if you're in the Ming Dynasty or you're in the Tang Dynasty, you're going to see a backtrack from that dynasty. If you're looking at a contemporary story out of China, you're going to see a backdrop of contemporary China. It's something very unique, and it's something that audience members tell us they really like. It's special. So come, see
actually
this,
see
this.
it. Yeah. Well, what are some of your favorite parts? Both, you know, you've seen it presented in the past, you've seen it numerous times. What's one of your favorite elements of the production?
My favorite parts are those stories, you know, those stories from different, you know, aspects of the Chinese culture, different dynasties, a lot of things, especially those stories carry the traditional value like a compassion, honesty, integrity, forgiveness, while you're enjoying such a beautiful show. That those traditional values, you know, that's traditional Chinese culture believe that art is not just for entertainment, but it's also for education. So that's the part I love the best. Yeah.
And Bill, what about you?
I also like the stories because they tell messages, common messages of compassion, loyalty, truthfulness, virtue that are common to all of us. And also, I like the drums. Occasionally they have drums in the orchestra, and it really gets your heart pumping. And the music, and again, the soloists are just incredible, very beautiful.
Do you think this is something that this is really a family-oriented event? Is this something all ages will be able to sort of sustain and sort of, you know, take away the educational part of it, as well as seeing the sort of the aesthetics and the beauty of it as well?
Yeah, I think it's good for all ages, because the people ask whether it's good to bring their kids. I say yes. You know, we don't recommend like children younger than 3 to come, because they might be too. The 2-hour show might be too long for them. But any other you know, children, you know, older than 3 years old, or like a 5 or 6, then it will be good. You know, besides they can enjoy such a beautiful show, they can also learn a lot of things. You know, today the world becomes smaller and smaller, because you know, to learn more about the other culture is really good. This would be a perfect event for a family.
No, it sounds like it. Well, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to learn more, see more about this wonderful production that is coming to the Peabody Opera House in February. It's February 18th and 19th, 2 shows, Shen Yun. But please stay with us for more right here on City Corner.
To the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, the USO is home. The USO depends on the generosity of the American people, people just like you. To find out how you can help, visit us at uso.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
Did you vote in the last election? I know I would have. I'd want my voice to be heard. You see, the only way your ideas can count is for our elected officials to hear from you. My dad says it's easy. Just learn about the process and vote. So you have all this power to really make a difference. And you didn't take time to vote? Am I missing something?
Learn how to make your ideas count by logging on to www.representativedemocracy.org.
Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome back to City Corner. Today we are talking about the production Shen Yun, which is coming to the Peabody Opera House on February 18th and 19th for 3 productions. I'm joined by representatives from the Missouri Falun Dafa Association, by the president, Peng Su, and by the director of PR, Bill Kaczynski. So thank you both for being here. We've watched video of this really breathtaking production. We've talked about some of the costumes and the music and the dance. I mean, really, when I think, you know, when we were off camera, Bill, you emphasized that people, until you go see it, you don't really understand the magnitude of it and how powerful it is. Do you want to kind of reiterate what you just mentioned?
One of the things that really strikes me is when I'm with the audience is that this is something very different, very unique. When we talk about diversity and uniqueness, this show talks about Buddhas and Taos. It's just something so different. It's something that I'm interested in, and I know our audience members, it's so unique, it's such a beautiful experience for them to see, that when they leave this show, I know, and they tell us it touches their heart. It stays with them for a long period of time. It's really a beautiful show, and the message is beautiful. It talks about humanity. It talks about being truthful. It talks about virtue. These are things that are common to all of us, but it's such a unique show that people really have to come see this show to experience it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, even when you look at it, I think what's so amazing about the arts is when you look at dance and you look at music, there's on one element, the superficial element, which is, oh, this is beautiful, the costumes are beautiful, the music's great, and it's entertaining, right? But then there's a deeper level, which is what is so great about the power of the arts, which is it really brings people together in almost a suspended time, you know, when you're in a theater or in a performance hall watching something, that it makes you think, just like you emphasized, Peng, earlier about the educational component, or it makes you feel deeply. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it. And it sounds like with Shen Yun, it really does that in terms of Chinese history and culture.
Yes, actually, a well-traveled New Yorker commented after he watched the show, he said, "I've seen China with my eyes, but tonight the show makes me experience China with my soul."
That's a great way to sum it up. I do want to add, we talked about there's 3 shows. So initially you had 2 shows, but you added a 3rd show. Was that because there's so much sort of interest in it, or?
Yes, actually we added, originally we only have a Saturday evening show, Sunday afternoon, and now we just added a Sunday evening show too, because a lot of audience, they did request, because some of them, they cannot make it for the other 2 times, and then wait for another year is just too long. So they want to, so we think, you know, since we have Shen Yun here, why not add one more show to have opportunity for more people to enjoy it. And recently, because Shen Yun already started their 2012 tour, they have performance in San Francisco, and in Houston, in Ottawa, in Canada. So a lot of shows are sold out. So we think, you know, before it's too late, let's add one more show.
Okay, well, we have a graphic for that, and we'll be sure to tell our viewers at home about it before we close on the show. You mentioned one of the reviews. I mean, in general, what are people sort of saying about this show, both here in St. Louis when you presented it in the past, as well as really across the world? What is sort of the general feedback that people give?
One of the key feedbacks we've heard from some of the top critics is that it's 5 stars. They say it's one of the top shows in the world today. And we talk about entertainment value, but this is also an uplifting show. It's uplifting emotionally, it's uplifting spiritually, and it's also uplifting physically. People feel better after seeing this show. And I'll testify to that. The first time I saw this show, my colleagues said, "You got to see this show." And I waited and I hesitated, but finally I got tickets to the show. And when I was at the show, it was like I was in another world. It was so beautiful, and when I left, like I say, it has stayed with my heart for years. It's such a beautiful show. So it's uplifting as well as entertaining. It is really a great show, and we're very happy to have the opportunity to be here in St. Louis, and we're happy to be at the Peabody Opera House this year. St. Louis is a great city. St. Louis, come to the show. We want you to experience this. This has something for everyone in this show.
What is different? So it's at the Peabody Opera House this year. In the past, you've done the Fox, the Two Hill, Lindenwood. You've done. What's different, sort of, about the production each year? How do they change it up a bit?
Every year it's a new one, so they have new music, new dances, new costumes, and new stories. But it's the same performing arts company, so it's the same style, but everything is brand new. They create. That's how much creativity they
Wow,
they
so
have.
each year they really are recreating an entirely new production. So if you came last year or in previous years, you're not going to see in any way the same thing.
No, it's going to be completely different. Yeah.
Were you?
I'm going to say, so I saw this show 2 years ago, and there were certain dances that I really love. Some of the ethnic dances, which are very unique, of those 56 different ethnic groups. I was looking forward to seeing a specific dance. Well, there was another dance. It was just as good. So it's different. And each year it actually gets better. It's incredible.
We were talking earlier about, I was saying, because there is such a strong educational element to this, where you can learn about Chinese history and culture. I was asking you if schools contacted you or schools come. Do you find that there are students, college students, elementary age students, or just who are coming because it's in conjunction with maybe something they're reading or a class that they're taking?
Yes, and actually Bill maybe talk about in the past years. This year actually there are a school already contacted us and got the group tickets because their students are learning Chinese language. So they want their students to come to experience and learn more Chinese culture. That's we already have some schools coming. And also another college contacted us and then hoping we can do a presentation in later January to their students to see and how many students are interested in coming to see the show.
It'd be very exciting. Were you going to add something to that,
in
Bill?
past years, we've had different universities, their diversity groups will bring in students. Because again, it is a very different, very diverse opportunity for them, and they just love it, and they're coming back again.
Is there actually an opportunity to ever meet the performers, like before or after a show? Do you ever do like a meet and greet, or how do people? I know the website you can get to know some of the performers more. They have really great, biography videos on their website. But have you had a chance to actually meet some of the performers?
That truly depends on the schedule.
Okay.
Sometimes last year when Shen Yun was here, they had a master class to a charter school. Teach students the basics of the classical Chinese dance. And this year we'll see if the schedule allows, then we will do something also. Yeah.
I just think it's always so interesting when you actually have a chance to see dancers, come from the stage or musicians and have a chance to talk to them. But this really, sounds, you've done an excellent job describing it. I know this is going to be an amazing performance, and we really encourage you at home to go and check it out. Again, it's Shen Yun Performing Arts. It's coming to the Peabody Opera House. It's February 18th and 19th. There's 3 shows. On the 18th, there's one at 7:30, and then on the 19th, it's 2 o'clock and 7:30 p.m. And again, that's presented by the Missouri Falun Dafa Association. So thank you, Peng, and thank you, Bill, for being here today and telling us about this production. I think you've done an excellent job describing it, and if you haven't already listened to them, you can go to the website and see some more of the videos. It's really breathtaking, and we encourage you to check it out. So thank you for joining us here on City Corner, and keep it here on STL TV.